Guys, welcome to the very first League Crawler podcast. My name is Mo. You can call me Mo Stradamus. We are very excited to do this. This has been something we've been talking about for a few weeks now, getting everything ready. The fact that you guys are here listening to this just shows that we have an audience to kind of reach out to, and that was kind of the goal, is to find you guys an outlet to express who you are and what you do in the leagues that you're a part of. We wanted to make sure that we gave something that was very organic, that was fun to do. And so this is kind of what was created. What is League Crawler? I know some of you are probably joining over here that are fresh to the community of these online leagues and what they do. So what is League Crawler? And that to me was something that I found early on as a Madden gamer. I had already had leagues that I was a part of, I was a commissioner of. But I wanted to find places to connect with other commissioners. I wanted to find people with fresh ideas. I wanted to know what this word sim that everybody seems to use, I want to know what that word meant. So League Crawler was a place for me that I used to connect to other people. Now, a lot of you might be going like, yo, but who is Mo? Like, who is this guy? Honestly, I'm just a dude. I'm a dude that loves football. I love Madden. I love the community of gaming. I'm a father to two beautiful children. I'm a husband to an amazing wife that allows me to partake in all of these endeavors. I'm a co-owner of a company called Tradr Creations. We do graphical work for all different kinds of use. I'm the commissioner of a league, and I have a passion for sim gaming, and more than a lot of that, except for being a father and husband, I am a huge Arizona sports fan. I love the Cardinals, the Suns, all different kind of things in Arizona. When this idea first came about, I didn't really know if this was something that I really wanted to do. I kind of outsourced it to a couple of people to see if they wanted to. But then after talking with Matt, a guy that owns League Crawler, who I'm sure a lot of you know, and a lot of you are about to really get to know very quickly here, I just knew that this was something that intrigued me. And after talking to a few people, and they were like, I'm not really interested in it, it just hit me. Mo, why don't you do this? Matt, I know this is something that you wanted to do for a long time. This is years in the making for you. Why did you want to team with the community to come up with a podcast for League Crawler?
Hey Mo, so yeah, thanks for doing this. I'm very excited about where we're headed with this, but yeah, I think what we've done from the beginning, or what I've done from the beginning, is there's a lot of guys that are out there that are running really great leagues, and when I started this over 6 years ago, it was there was no one place for people to go and find out about a league, who's running the league, if it's a legit thing, you join these things. And I'll get into that more later. But I mean, ultimately, what kind of came about was, there are so many awesome things that are out there in the community that are, you've got teams of people that are working on great content. And we've kind of evolved into this promotional tool for these leagues to get the word out and kind of showcase what they're doing. And so that was the idea for this podcast is, we want to give a place for gamers and commissioners to, hear what's going on in the community more in depth, and talk about other topics, other games other than just Madden, so 2K and different things. There are a lot of, even like indie games that are out there, that people are playing. I mean, there's games that are indie games that people are playing, and they're playing in leagues. And they reach out to me, and I reach out to them. And anyway, so, why do we do this is because there are a lot of voices out there in the community, and we really want to make sure that, we're giving them a chance to be heard and to have some discussion.
Yeah, that's a great point. I know that when I first joined League Crawler, it was really based on trying to find a Madden community. But then, I mean, you just see so many people organically transition into these other things, and it gives you ideas. And now you've got like these 2K leagues, you've got games that people are doing, like you said, you got these indie games that people playing. So when I think we look at the goals that we're doing for the podcast going forward, I know the short-term goal for me was just to kind of reach out and hear the voices of other people. But I know long term, we've had lots of discussions about getting these guys that are doing these indie games on to discuss some of the games that they're building. When you look at the long-term aspects of what this podcast means to the League Crawler site, where do you see this podcast being at long-term?
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the main features on our site. This is definitely one of the things that we want to to be a part of and help kind of further is again, like, bringing people on that are active members of the community, right? And again, not just the Madden community, but let's just say the gaming community. And let's not even say sports gaming community. That's kind of where I started with League Crawler. I mean, there are leagues and clans that do really, really cool stuff with things like Call of Duty and and other games like that, right? That aren't even sports games. That
Right.
it's there are groups that are out there, and we just want to have an umbrella for those guys to find each other, to talk about what's going on with their thing, give people ideas, right? I mean, if you're running a Call of Duty thing and you're doing something really cool, it's really cool if you can share that with other people and let them kind of take some of that and kind of run with it, for their communities. And so yeah, I think that there's just so many opportunities for us to connect with people, and that's what I'm excited about. I mean, this thing has grown in ways that I haven't was never able to kind of foresee, and it's just going to be fun to just start talking to some of these people that are out there, people that I talk to quite a bit, right? I mean, I talk to people all the time on Twitter and different things, and so I have those conversations with people all the time about what they're doing, and they'll share stuff with me, or they'll tag me on Twitter and things. And this is a way of saying, hey, let's get some of that stuff out there to the community at large, right? And let everybody kind of get a window into what some of those conversations are, rather than just either their community or somebody like me.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And what's awesome about that is for instance, you bring that up. And for anybody listening to this that doesn't know about other leagues out there, there's a league right now called Soden Bowl that they do a Call of Duty. I would call it like a league, or I would call it a tournament or something, but they're hosting like Call of Duty games for people to come and compete against them. So like, just for that little tidbit of info, there could be people listening to this podcast right now that had no idea that that was even a thing. But that's what this is for, in my opinion, is we want to open up people's eyes to what's really out there, and to show them like these are the things that people are not just having fun with, but these are successful leagues that people are doing,
Right.
that you guys do in your own league. You could join up. But it also, I mean, just to kind of go off the cuff a little bit, when you talk about like clans, I was a huge fan of like the Clash of Clans game that was on your phone.
Yeah.
And I know there you would create your own clan, you go to war with others. So you're right, there are endless possibilities for what league potentially be.
Yeah, there's a football game that's out there that I've been playing for a couple months now. It's an indie game. It just showed up on I think it might have been IGN or something. One of their websites of best of 2020 or something like that. It's called Retro Bowl, Retro Bowl, and it's a football game on your phone. It's got franchise elements to it. It's you fully control it. Like you're signing free agents and you're drafting and stuff, and it's kind of set up like Tecmo Bowl. It's a one-player game, but there's geniuses that are out there. They're called the RBA Alliance that decided to make it into a league. And so they've got people that are creating their own teams and graphics and helmets and uniforms and stuff. And they've got Twitter followers for it. And they found a way to make it competitive against other people. And, so stuff like that is, people don't even know that's happening out there. Right. And, so we want to highlight as much of that kind of stuff as we can, as well as all the activity that happens with all the AAA tier games too, like your NBA 2Ks and Maddens and Call of Duty, stuff like that. There's just so much out there, and it's going to be exciting to get, let's say the guy that runs RBA, the league itself, right? 1 week or maybe the same week, and maybe we get him on the phone with the developer of Retro Bowl, who I've been in contact with, like how cool would that be for those two to be able to connect in one place and start talking about, hey, this is how we use your game, right? I think
incredible. I would love to be a part of something like that. Man.
Yeah.
I'm so excited got going with this. So having said that, Matt, how can people get their leagues involved with the podcast? Like if I wanted to be like, yo, I want this league here, what's the best way for me to get that info out there?
Yeah, I think right now, with us just kind of being in the early stages, the first thing would be is just reach out to us. I mean, we've got a lot of followers on Twitter. So if you're, let's say, a league that wants to come on the show, and again, it doesn't have to be a Madden league. I know that's what I played. That's where my idea for League Crawler came from. So like that's kind of been always kind of the focus because that's my lane. But anybody, I mean, there's a great NBA 2K Pro-Am team. It's like an organization of Pro-Am teams that compete and work on getting people, I think, into that, like the upper echelon of the 2K Pro-Am stuff, the Pro League stuff. And, so those guys, I'd love to have them come on. So anyway, to answer your question, just reach out to us and just say, hey, I would love to come on the show. I'd love to be a part of this. I think I'd fit in. This is what I'd like to talk about. This is what we're doing. And eventually we'll just start scheduling those things. So reach out to me on Twitter. Go to the website, leaguecrawler.com. You can follow us there. You can reach out to us on our Discord. There's a contact form on the website. You can fill that out. So really any way that it comes across, just reach out and say, hey, I love the idea and I'd love to be a part of it.
Perfect. And my DMs are always open, guys. If you have anything you want to send me, come onto my Discord or I'm Twitter at _Mostradamus. Anything that you guys want to kind of get me going. I don't mind taking some of that info and writing it down. Matt, getting into some of what League Crawler's doing. I know the new website is out, and it is phenomenal, man. I'm doing some of this stuff with what we've got going on over in our league, but the work you did is incredible. Can you fill in people on why you made the change to the League Crawler site and what your plans are for the site going forward?
Yeah. So the first part of that, why I made the change. So it's really, most of it is technical, as far as the kind of the behind the scenes work on it. When I started it, I used a platform that I thought would be best, for us to roll with. And it's kind of, becoming outdated at this point, the platform itself. And so it became increasingly tough, to get things updated on the site. So, new features and, new sections on the website. I mean, there's no secret. If you went out to the website over the last year and a half, it felt stale, it felt outdated, it looked outdated, and it was kind of clunky. And I just, it was relatively revolutionary, I think maybe back when it first came out, right? But, over time, you start, saying, okay, I need to be able to update this thing. And it just became increasingly difficult to do. So I started exploring some other options. And that's what kind of led me to making the change. And it literally is a ground up. I mean, it's a completely different service. It's all completely different. The functionality is kind of the same. But again, it's, that's, what we're, that's the reason for the change. And of course, I didn't write down the second part of your question, so you have to help me there.
Where do you kind of see the site going forward? Like when you put all these new tools in, what do you see this kind of transitioning to for leagues, or what we have available tools for us to use?
Yeah. So let me just take it like in small chunks. So, the evolution of the website and the reason for it, beyond what I just described, is really about making the site more flexible and more easier to use, both for me as the developer and the guy that runs it, and for our user base. So that's really what we're trying to do, is make things more friendly. And I'm still, now that we're live, I'm still working out some tweaks. Like the site's kind of slow now that that we're moving over and we've got a user base in there. So I'm working on kind of fixing some of those things. But the idea is that again, it's more flexible. So let's take a Madden league, for example. On the old site, when you would create any kind of league, there was one league profile that you would create. And it would ask you all the same questions. So it would ask you things like advanced times. It would ask you things like open teams, so on and so forth, the console that it's on, right? And that was because it was generally set up for Madden, right? Well, as we started rolling out, other things, like let's say 2K, right? So 2K, we've got communities that run 2K Pro-Am teams, or we call them squads on the new site. And we have 2K leagues, right? Well, those and Madden, those are three completely separate, types of communities, right? And they all have different needs. For example, You don't want to see the Cincinnati Bengals open, be an option when you are updating your league profile on our website, for a 2K team, right? Or for a 2K league, right? You want to see the Clippers, for example, right?
Yep.
And if you are a 2K Pro Am team that needs a center, on your team, you don't want to be recruiting and getting your information out there, as if you're a league, because it's just not the same thing. So, not to be too long-winded, but the idea is that the site allows us now to create specific profile pages that are specific to our communities that let them do the things that they want. So again, if you're creating a Madden League profile, you're going to be asking those questions that are specific to Madden Leagues. Whereas now, if you're creating a 2K Pro Am team on our site, a profile, you're going to be able to tell people all the positions that are on your team. You're going to be able to show a highlight video of your stuff, a headshot for everybody, what position they play, what their overall is, and what their archetype is. And then we're going to continue to explode this out into the community. So I'm already talking to a group that does Call of Duty and asking them, hey, when you recruit for your Call of Duty, group, what do you want to see? What would you want people to see, right? And we're going to start implementing that. So in the future, it's just going to continue to expand as we find games that are, in need of our service. We're going to be creating those additional functionalities for them so they can, have it more tailored to what they're playing.
Perfect, man. It's incredible from where League Crawler was when I joined, I think 5 years ago, to where it is now. I mean, is incredible. It's what you used to describe it is perfect, revolutionary. Which also, Matt, gets us into our first sponsor, which is Space Tradr. Space Tradr is a brand new service designed to help like-minded business owners connect with one another. Browse for opportunities to cross-promote, trade advertising, and share referrals with others in our community, or post your own opportunity for others to find. Find, connect, and grow with others at spacetradr.com. Matt, you've got the League Crawler site going. You've also got Space Tradr going. Can you give us just a minute or two on what Space Tradr is? Because it is a sponsor for the show. It was the very first sponsor that we even had available. So thank you for even allowing that to be a part of the show. But can you explain to the users what Space Tradr is?
So in short, I guess, everything that I create or even try to create is my ability to, or my attempt to fix a problem that I currently have, right? So when I was a commissioner, it was hard to find good leagues. It was hard to find good people, right? And so I said, hey, what if there was a place where you could see it all in one place? Space Tradr is the same thing, as a young website that's not, raking in cash. I would love to be able to advertise, in all these different places, right? But, I'm either shelling out money of my own, or I'm, trying to figure out a way for the site to make money and things like that. So, the idea I had one day was, what if there was, like, let's say a user that's out there that is literally having the same conversation in their head right now that says, hey, I'm a brand new YouTuber, or I've got, maybe a couple hundred followers or whatever. And man, it would be really cool if I could get, one of my videos onto the League Crawler website. They've got a user base. That would be really cool. And what if they said, you know what, I would be willing to trade every time I do a video, let's say for the next month or the next 10 videos I do, I'll do a blurb for League Crawler. Hey guys, it's Matt, or, Matt with such and such YouTube channel, here promoting League Crawler. Anyway, so the idea would be is, what if there was a repository, a directory of sorts, that just housed those type of opportunities? So I'm a business owner. It doesn't have to be online, right? It could be a landscaping company. I just started a landscaping company, and I'd love to be able to get a flyer from my landscaping company into the hands of anybody that shops at this landscape supply company down the street, right? And in exchange, maybe I will do the same. I'll put a link to their landscaping supply company on my website. Simple as that, and what you do is you just go to the website, you browse and see if there's any opportunities that are out there. By the way, it's brand new, so we're still trying to get people on board with this and get it rolling. We're not quite there yet, but it's the framework's there. And but the idea is that you browse and you see if there's something that kind of suits your interest. You reach out, you make that connection, and if you don't see anything you like, you post an ad on there yourself. And you can share that link with other people rather than trying to explain it 100 times. You can, go into the landscaping supply company and say, hey, would you mind checking out this link? interested in cross promotion. I know you don't have a whole lot of time, but here's an idea. If you're interested, call me. And it's really just a quick way to kind of get the information out that, hey, we're open to cross promote, trade ad space, refer each other and things like that. And you can get all the details there.
What I love about the way that you think is it's never just about how you can promote yourself. It's always about how we can do this together. And one of the biggest questions that I had as I was getting to know you, getting to know what the goals were for this site is, who is Matt? Because to be honest, Matt, you're really a behind the scenes guy. I don't really know how many commissioners out there really know you personally. I know that I'll just say, from my opinion, when I first reached out to you and got to know you, I did feel like you do a very good job of keeping commissioners at like an arm's length away, because you don't join a whole lot of
I don't
leagues,
join
right?
any. So,
And why is that?
well, a couple reasons. So when I started League Crawler, I was a commish of my own league, and I ran it for several seasons. That was the product. The only reason I started my own league was because I had been in several. One that was ran marvelously. I think it was even on PS2. I mean, it was fantastic. I wish I could remember the name. And when I started my own league, or let me back up. When that league folded finally, and I think it was because PS3 came out, I tried to join several leagues, and they all folded within like a week, you know? And so I said, you know what, screw this.
Yep.
Like, I'm wasting my time. Let me just see if I can do my own, right? So I reached out to that commissioner, picked his brain a little bit, started my own thing. And it went really well. Like we had, several seasons. I still don't understand how people can do like 10 seasons or 20 seasons or whatever in one Madden cycle. I think we did like 3 or 4, but anyway,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that frustrated me is that there was no way to get good players, figure out who a good player was. Or on the flip side, if I'm a good player and I want to join a league and I'm not just a guy that's going to quit, after one game, how do I know a good league to join that's not going to waste my time, right? Anyway, so after running the league for a few years, it went from PS3 to PS4, and I hadn't bought a PS4 yet. And next thing you know, like half of our users migrated from, this is happening right now, right? They're migrating from the game that they have to the
Yep.
next one. And we were right at the end of the cycle. And I said, you know what? I'm going to shut the league down. And I had kind of had this idea boiling around in my head that there was, maybe there was a way to, do some of this all in the same place. And so that's really where it came from. Why I don't play in a league? Number one, I don't have time. Like most of the time that I would spend playing in a league, I spend developing the site. And that goes in spurts. I mean, there's sometimes I'm really, really busy with it, and other times, I get frustrated with it or I get kind of tired of doing it, and I let it sit for a little while. But especially for the first, that first couple of years that I was in, like the early development of it, I mean, I didn't have time to. But then as we got rolling and we got, leagues involved, I have leagues constantly reaching out to me and saying, hey, can we be, promoted on your site ahead of everybody else? Can we do this? Can we do that? Can you promote just this and just that? And I just decided if it's really going to be a repository for, for leagues to come and promote, it should always be equal. It should always be equal. It should never be biased, And so the way the site works is you post stuff, it bumps itself, right? And I'm working on some of this functionality, getting it migrated to the new site. But you post to the website, it goes automatically to Twitter, and it automatically goes to Discord. So I'm not pushing one thing ahead of each other. And I always just thought, other than the time factor, if I'm playing in a league, right, I'm going to be tempted to promote my league, a little bit more than I do anything else. And so for the last 6-7 years, I just haven't joined one, and I think it's worked out good. I think it's helped me, like I said, stay unbiased and promote everybody equally, and hopefully, I think that that ultimately helps the community at large rather than just one group over another.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's something that I've told you in our DMs that I think you're one of my favorite people I've met in this community just because of how unbiased you are. You're totally about your opinions, and your opinions are going to be based on your views. So I mean, that's a huge respect piece for me, and why I was even interested in this was because of how even keeled you were about every league out there. Now here's the question though, that when I have stuff like that, and when you are as secluded away from the leagues as what you are, I think people don't really know who you are as a person. So take a minute or two and explain to
Yeah.
people, who is Matt? Like, who is this runs league crawler?
So longtime gamer. I'm I'm approaching 40. So that's kind of interesting. Interesting. I'm from Cincinnati. I've married for 16 years now. I've got 3 kids, and I'm involved in a lot of stuff. I've been a DJ for 20 years. So I DJ weddings. I've done over 600 weddings in the last 20 years. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
So, I don't own the company. I work for a guy and he sets it up. We kind of come in and we set up at the event and we do the event and then we pack up and we head out. So that's pretty fun. I'm a business analyst for a pretty large company. So I basically kind of crunch data from 8 to 5 and whenever it ends. Been doing it for a long time.
All right.
And then in my spare time, I lead worship at church. So I play guitar and I play drums and been doing that pretty much my whole life too. So, none of those things I do extremely well, but we've got a great team that, kind of works with me. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, typical, father, husband, we do a lot of stuff together. Kids play sports. All 3 of my kids like to play games. And as a matter of fact, my youngest, she's building a website of her own right now. She's like really into crafting and stuff. My oldest is 20, she's working full time, so I barely see her. And then my middle, she's a soccer player, for her school. And so, we're, always running around with her. So yeah, a lot going on, man. I mean, we definitely stay real busy, but it's just fun. It's been an enjoyable time for me, all the stuff that I've been in.
Man, that is awesome. And I know that there's a couple things even there that I just learned. So I know for a fact there's other people, but I want to break this down even a little bit more. Because this is League Crawler's first podcast, and because you are essentially the face of League Crawler, I knew that we would get the basics of who you are, but I really wanted to come up with 10 questions on my own that would even further let our audience know who Matt is. So I've got 10 questions. The requirements for these answers, though, are that they are, I don't want to say rapid fire where you have to come up with something immediately, but I don't want you to spend a ton of time thinking about it either, right? So are you on board for 10 questions?
I am. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right. Let's start right now. If you had to eat one thing for every meal going forward for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh gosh, I think it would be, the first thing that came to mind is Vietnamese. There's a place in Cincinnati called Pho 96, and they've got a bowl that's called, I'm going to get the pronunciation wrong, bun. It's like a cold noodle dish. It's my favorite meal of all time, my favorite restaurant. I'd have that every day.
Got it. Favorite show or character?
Favorite TV show of all time is Seinfeld.
This might go in my next one. What TV sitcom family would you be a member of?
What TV family I would be a part of? Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. Let's. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Next question. I'll come back to it. I don't want to think about it too much.
If you could instantly become an expert in any topic, what would
Guitar.
it be? Okay, I like that. That would be one of mine too. If you had a job, we could all pick jobs we think we'd be the best at. What job do you think you would be the absolute worst?
Oh my gosh. Contracts. Anything that requires heavy reading, like I would break out in hives and quit in minutes. Seriously.
Okay. What's one thing you have on
I'm sorry. One more time. Say that again.
What's one thing you got?
One thing on my bucket list is I want to visit Scotland. My family's originally from there, and like going back, my grandfather used to live there, and then his parents immigrated from Scotland to the U.S. and then they moved back for a short amount of time and then came back to the U.S. and that's where they stayed. But a lot of Scottish heritage. I got married. I was wearing a kilt when I got married. It was his. So there's a lot of that going on, and I've just never been there. So that would be it.
Got it. All right. One thing about the gaming community that annoys you the most?
Not being able to rally behind a single cause. So if we're going to rant about hashtag fix Madden franchise, I'm never buying this again. And then the game increases in sales exponentially year over year. You got to put your money where your mouth is. Now, I will say I did buy this game. I proclaimed I'm part of the problem. Um, I am. I will tell you this. This was the first game that I did not buy when it came out, and I wouldn't have bought it at all this year, except for the first time in my life, my 8-year-old nephew wanted to play me. He had just bought it. It's the only Madden he's ever bought, and he was dying to play me. And so I let my guard down and I went ahead and purchased it. However, I did get it at the Black Friday price, so I didn't pay full price for
There you go. Stick to them. If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Describe myself. First one I would say is family. The second one, I think funny. And then the third one is I would say, can I use a phrase instead of a word? Is that okay? Jack of all trades, master of none. I think that describes me to a T.
There you go. What is the absolute worst place you can get
stuck?
The
worst place I can get stuck, I think, would be, man, I think it would be stuck eating a lunch that I really don't want and I'm really hungry.
All right, and last one, Matt, what is the best advice you have for any league or game developer?
Okay, I will tell you this. So I think the best advice I can give to anybody, especially the new ones, is come up with and use your community to help you come up with a set of rules that not only you plan on following as a league, but you as the commissioner plan on following, and never waver. Like, do not waver from it. Leagues fall apart because they feel like somebody has an advantage and it's not worth their time to play anymore, especially if the commissioner is editing their players or kicking people out because he got beat by them and crap like that. So come up with a really good set of fair rules, use the community to come up with them, and make sure without question that you guys follow it. Everything else kind of falls into place, I think, from there.
Matt, thank you. Those were your 10. Did you think of a family that you would
be
well, with a sitcom?
Not really. My mom got me a Far Side calendar, for those of you that are old enough to remember the Far Side. And I'm looking at the calendar as you said that, and it was like the first thing that came up. And I thought, I think I'd just be in a Far Side cartoon if I could be, and just let somebody make some mockery out of my life and how ridiculous it can be.
Yeah, it's a great one, man. Mine was going to be like Everybody Loves Raymond or Seinfeld. I grew up on some of those shows like that. I thought those characters would have been a blast to kind of be a part of. Matt, thank you for your time. Guys, getting into our second sponsor of the day. Are you looking to take your league or personal content to the next level? The team over at Shatter Creations would like to get on board. Shatter Creations can help with logos, banners, league graphics like magazine covers, award winners, etc., or things like intro and outro videos. If you or your league are looking to take the next step, head over to shattercreations.com and tell them that Matt from League Crawler sent you so you can get a 20% discount. Matt, League Crawler has been phenomenal for anybody that uses it, man. I don't think there's one person that's ever logged onto your site and said, that's been a part of any kind of league and said, I have no business with this, or this doesn't fit me. You've provided something for just about everybody out there in the league community, and it comes at no cost, man. I do know that there is a donation button on League Crawler, and that's still on.
That is correct, yeah. Correct. And to go back to what we said about being unbiased, earlier, I did kind of have this in my head. I mean, if you look in certain places of our website, you will see leagues that are called out or individuals that are called out a little bit. And those are our donators, right? Those are our supporters. I mean, we've got a lot of supporters that have done a lot of different things for us, but I did want to make sure that anybody that really supports us, at a financial level, that says, hey, this is good enough for me to spend my money on. We definitely wanted a way to say thank you to those people. So nobody has ever purchased any like advertising space or anything like that on the website. Like it's always been, hey, I like this, I'm going to donate to it, and it being completely open-ended, right? And that's still out there. And then my thought process on that is, hey, I don't want to just say, hey, thank you, and then no one ever know about it, right? So there are some places on the website where you'll see we try to do a good job of saying, hey, we really appreciate, the people that are doing that. If you follow our Twitter, you'll see a tweet that goes out almost every day that, thanks those members, at kind of the different levels that they've supported us. But yeah, it's out there. We don't charge anything for what we do. And if you want to support by giving, we would definitely appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I'll just say it this way. Nate from OMFL, who's been a longtime supporter of the site, made a really generous donation to us this year that was, when I say instrumental, I mean the moving over to the new website would not have happened if it hadn't been for what he gave to us. So when I say instrumental and I say that every dollar counts, it really does. And again, I can't say thank you enough to everybody that's given a lot or a little, or even just promoted us and told their friends or whatever. It's all been excellent, and I can't say thank you enough to the people that do that.
Well, here's my take on it. At the moment, I don't see league crawlers stopping. If anything, I think league crawlers about to ramp up with all these ideas and stuff that you've got going forward. So guys, right now is times for you to get promotion on league crawlers page if you're donating to the site. And if this continues to grow, you're going to continue to get more people viewing your stuff because it's getting bigger. So right now is the best opportunity to kind of go in there and take advantage of the donation page, because you have no idea where this is going in the future. So I highly, highly recommend to get in there and do some of that stuff now. Getting into a preview for next week, we're going to be doing the show weekly. I know that next week we'd like to have an interview on from either an indie game, or I'd like to talk to a commissioner from a league. If you guys are wanting to be a part of that, again, reach out to Matt or myself. Let us know that that's something that you want to do. Matt, do you have any closing comments for any of your listeners or people that are out there?
The only thing I would say is, again, just bear with us, with the site change and what we're doing. Again, I know that, some of the elements are a little bit slow. I'm literally working every day to make it as streamlined as I can, as quick as I can. If you have any questions, and I mean any, or any issues or any ideas, if you're looking at something and you go, wow, this would be better if it was like this, or this isn't working, or whatever it is, I mean, I am literally open. I get a lot of different things I'm doing, right? And so if I can't get to you right away, I apologize, but, hit me up on Twitter, drop me a message, drop me an email, whatever you need to do, get a hold of me, especially in our Discord, things like that. And just let me know what's going on. And again, just be active in our Discord if you would too. We're really trying to, grow that presence as well. And just, there's a lot of different places people are, right? I mean, I connect with people on Twitter and then Discord and different places, but we definitely want to make sure that, we're growing that Discord and using that for feedback and information. So if you find me there, if you find me on Twitter, whatever it is, I don't care. Just get a hold of me and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Even if it's negative. Hey, I hate what you did with the site. Like, it sucks. It doesn't work, or whatever it is. Or why did you put this here? Why didn't you put that there? I really don't care. I want the feedback. I can't make it better if it's just only in my head. So again, please, if you have any ideas, hey, can you add this to the site? Can you add that to the site? Whatever it is, let me know. And I'm happy to take that feedback, and I want to implement as much of it as I can. So please let me know.
Matt, thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this today. Thank you for everything you've done over at LC. Dude, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll see what next week does. And Mo, I got to tell you, man, I seriously, I do a little bit of journaling from time to time, and just kind of what's going on, and easy way to keep track of stuff, especially later on in life, right? And I got to tell you, I wrote a little snippet in there. I really can't thank you enough for taking this on. I mean, this is something that I've wanted to do for so long, and I just don't have the bandwidth for it, man. And it's not my skill set either. I know what my lane is, and this is your lane, and I'm excited. And just for anybody that's out there, I'm not going anywhere. I've got a couple of those questions. Mo is an extension of me and what we're doing. In a lot of ways, but at the same time, I've told him, hey, look, man, you got complete authority and creative license to do what you want to do with this thing. So I'm really excited to see what you come up with that is, an extension of what the LC idea is. And that's, how do I help communities and help leagues and help players, get their stuff out there, and connect with them and let them do their thing. And so you being a part of this is so so awesome because I know you got a lot of great ideas. You got a great personality. You got, a lot of things that you're planning on doing with this. And I'm just really excited to take the hands off the reins, and just let you run with it and then be excited to see what you come up with and how the community responds.
Yeah, man. To be honest, to anybody out there listening, all this is meant to be is just something that's going to be a lot of fun. Um, Matt has been nothing but supportive for everything that we've done as a community for like what we've done to grow. And I know personally that was something that I wanted to give back to him. He's never sat there and asked anybody for help. I've never seen Matt ever sit there and request things to ever be done for free from anybody. If anything, he's always been super quiet. And I don't think I'm the only one that's ever reached out to you and said, are there things that we can do to kind of assist? And the fact that you get donations to your site, I think is a piece of that. But
Yeah.
League Crawler is not changing. Matt is not going anywhere. The vision is not becoming something that's a completely different vision. I think the vision has always been to get people that are a part of leagues or a part of communities that can bring others together to give them a place to promote themselves. And that is not going to change at all with anything that we're doing. And the same philosophy that you started this with, that no one league is going to get any kind of special treatment, that is going to go for my league as well. I know that the guys over with where we're at, they're very supportive of what we're doing. But I did not take this role on so that we could grow my community. That's not what we're doing. Mine's good. We're good to go. I am here because I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear the ideas that you guys have. I want to share. In my opinion, talking with some of the developers over at EA, I believe that if we as a community really get together and come up with one single voice on what we're looking for, I believe we can make a change. When we saw the game drop and all of those tweets went out and everybody was freaking out, I promise you guys, that was heard. I know that, Matt, I've sent you some DMs on some of the stuff that we've seen.
Yep.
I'm telling you guys, as long as we do this together and we're not always bickering, we're not each other, so as long as we're one community and we're solid, we're good. We will be listened to, and the game that we want to have created, I believe, will come. So that's where my goal is from here. I want to share in Matt's vision of promoting everybody equally, and I want to hear what you guys have to say, and I want to take those ideas and let's see what we can do with them. Matt,
Yeah.
thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to next week, man. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, you guys will be able to find this, podcast in a lot of places. Mo, I'm sure you're going to talk about that a little bit, but again, I'm super excited. This is just the next step of what we're doing, and your involvement is, I mean, it really is. It's the tip of the iceberg on what we've got coming, right? I mean, I would be remiss if I did not mention, all the people that have either, like I said, not just donated, but I mean, donated their time. I mean, you think of guys like Synergy League Recruiter, which some people know. I mean, for crying out loud, for 2 years, I mean, he told everybody and his grandmother about our site and got people over to it, right? I mean, just promote, promote, promote. I mean, so from things like that to, guys like Nate and what he does, and so all these different people that have been part of our community and just push, little pieces of the way. I mean, it's really all led us here, and it's exciting, man. So, and again, I think you're the feather in the cap, man. I think this podcast is going to be a huge part of that. So, again, really excited.
Guys, you can check us out on Anchor. You can check us out on the League Crawler site. We are also going to be on YouTube. Leave comments, leave positive, leave negative, leave whatever you want. We are thick-skinned around here. We are good with whatever you had to say. Guys, we will see you next week.